Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Pass Club. Great show for you today. We're going to talk about Brian Kelly getting the X at LSU, get into college football, get into another ball call, talk about how this was the worst NFL week in history, obviously, chop it up about the World Series, get into our sport court, wrap it up with the college football look ahead, good boys, and blurby derby. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Pass Club. The Pass Club, the Pass Club, the Pass Club, the Pass Club. Pass Club. The Pass Club. The Pass Club.
All right. Well, hey, guys.
Hi.
Hey, Mal.
Mal, maybe let me stop you real quick before you get going. Is it me, or does Elkins look super crisp today? And look at those beautiful brown eyes. You have the same eyes as Woody from Toy Story, but they're beautiful. That's a compliment.
My brown-eyed
Dylan,
Elkins.
that is one of the highest praises anyone has said about my eyes before. And normally they're covered. Normally we've got the shades on, but today we're all flaunting some beautiful eyes. Yourself, Mal. We are three handsome lads that love to talk sports and give you some of the best takes.
Well, everybody asked about the shades, and what people didn't realize is we were all three in concussion protocol, so we had to wear the shades. But we cleared concussion protocol, and we decided in honor of Cam Scatabo, and just to honor his legacy, we would not wear the shades anymore because he basically has copyrighted CTE, I think.
Mal, do you have baby blues? Are your eyes blue?
I don't.
You don't know what color your eyes are?
I really don't. It's
Bro, you look at them every day in the mirror.
You see, like, anytime I look in my eyes, though, I just see, they're just dead inside. So,
Elkins, is this not crazy? He doesn't know what color his eyes
Dude,
are?
I think, honestly, I'd have to say they're green, Mal.
Mal, why don't
See,
you
I
get
don't-
those peepers real
Here.
close? Get them real close here. Let's see. Look at the camera, idiot. Yeah, that's a great screenshot, but I'd say they're a little green. Yeah, they're a little green.
A little greenish.
Yeah, a little green. He's like, I don't really know.
I don't know. I think I put like hazel on my driver's license. Hell, I don't know.
Hazel.
I'm a dude.
Just
I'm not
like
paying
you get pulled over, and just the cop just notices that. He's like, I'm not even going to give
your
you a
eyes are
ticket.
not hazel.
Your eyes are not hazel.
Bro,
And you're
you sure this is
definitely
you?
not 6'5". Get out of here.
No. Mine says 6'7".
Oh,
You got me.
you got
You know
him.
what's funny is I wasn't even trying to make it like that. Just popped out of my head, and then it triggered like, oh shit, I made a 6'7" joke accidentally.
I wanna just, maybe one day we all make it to 75 years old and we do one last episode.
Lord will.
And
At 75.
we maybe 67 years old. No, but some of the stuff that's just gonna trigger me sitting in my bed when I'm 75 years old, like Fortnite, all of the lingo, all of the memes we've been through.
Juice World.
Dude, that
All
was so
of the
messed up.
memes we've been through in our lives.
So
One's
y'all-
just gonna come over my mind when I'm 75, and I'll never be the same.
well,
Dude,
could you
I don't know about
imagine-
y'all. Hold on. Real
All
quick,
right.
just a side note, real quick. I've hit the point where I'm officially out of it now, and I'm like, it's kind of given me a life crisis. Like, people are posting things, and I have no clue what they mean, and everyone's doing it. And this is how out of the loop I am. I was at a bar with my parents, and they had live music, and this guy was playing a song, the Sally song. Do you guys know this song? Sally, that feeling. So, okay, I'm not the only one. Yo, I was like, my dad's like, you heard this song? I'm like, no, what is this song? And he goes, dude, are you serious? And my wife was like, are you kidding me? I was like, no, what is it? And then the next day we're in the car, and my wife plays the song, and I'm like, dude, this is a bop. Did this just drop? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, well, if he would have dropped this like in the spring, this would have been song of the summer. And she looks at me and goes, it was the song of the summer, you idiot. And I just felt so like minuscule. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I just missed it. I just completely missed it. Yeah. I just fell out of it.
I was like, imagine being like an older middle school teacher or something like that, like in your 60s or 70s, and you just got little kids running around throwing their hands, doing this with their hands, going 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. You don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, send you into like
Psychosis.
cardiac arrest. Yeah.
I mean, hell, honestly, I'd take a padded room over that, I think.
Yeah, I saw one teacher implemented a pretty good strategy. He would just count to 5, and his students would lock in and stop chatting and say 6-7, and then everyone's engaged all of a sudden. So it's learning how to cope with the ever changing school teaching dynamic, and God help these teachers.
And it makes me feel old and realize that time flies, man. Time flies.
It does.
Speaking of that, I've got an interesting fact for the lads.
Okay.
Since my elevator fact last week, I've wanted to bring another fact this week. The elevator did not tell me this one, but
is this an escalator fact?
No. This is actually a horse and carriage fact. Horse and buggy. Riding through New York. But so, did y'all know that your head? Let me hold on.
What do you mean by horse and carriage riding through New York? What are you even talking about?
You asked if it was an elevator fact. I said no. It's a horse and carriage fact. The horse leaned into my ear and he said, "Hey man, this is what we're gonna tell you." But time actually passes faster at your head than it does at your feet.
At your head than it does your feet.
And the science behind this is, so the laws of gravity, as you go up in elevation, time actually passes slower. So it's like nanoseconds, like we're talking like nanoseconds, but technically time passes faster at your head because not slower at elevation, passes faster at elevation. So because your head is taller than your feet, technically your head is nanoseconds older than your feet.
Okay.
I saw this on X, the Everything app, and did not fact check it. So
if this is true, if this is true, and we're saying the higher you get, the slower time goes, then why doesn't it compound? Wouldn't it compound over time?
See, and I thought about that, but nanoseconds compounding is probably a minute of your life, maybe. Like we're talking like nanoseconds.
I guess that's true.
Like even if it does
Elkins
compound,
I think Elkins is fact checking.
But he might be. But and I want you to know, Elkins, go fact check this. But Dylan, this could be a little interstellar talk here. This could be why he didn't age as much whenever he, got out of the,
they literally tell you why. Yeah. I mean, that is true. Yes.
Yeah. So
it's the gravity and black holes. And
yep, exactly. So I think this is true. Like I said, I did not fact check this. So we're going to leave this up to Elkins, but
man, I hear Elkins clacking away
Elkins
over there. What are you
ham on that keyboard?
Is it clackering?
It is clackering.
Boy.
Are you fact checking?
He better be. Them beautiful brown eyes.
I'm going to take your word for it here.
All you got to do is type in, does time pass by faster at your head than at your feet? Man, I'll fact check it real quick.
So the kid on the scissor lift at Brian Kelly's practice, time was pretty slow.
Oh man, that's still too soon. Still too soon.
How many years ago was that?
Dude, I don't even know, but like I don't even want to joke about it because Brian Kelly legitimately killed a kid. Like Brian Kelly is legitimately responsible for that kid's death.
I'll be honest, I've never done much digging on that case until just yesterday, and it's very heartbreaking. Brian Kelly.
Give us a rundown. What?
So essentially, Brian Kelly recommended or did not recommend surgery on this young man who had a brain tumor. And whenever he completed the surgery, it did not go well, and he was never able to really walk or had functions in his limbs, or it just really devastating. No one should ever go through that in a family or anything. We all agree with that. But Brian Kelly said nothing about it. He didn't really deny it, but played it down a little bit and said this had nothing to do with me. The family chose to do this. And he's really never spoken about this at all. And it's a little shady that, as a coach, you want to have these players be able to bounce back and play for your team down the road. And then whenever something horrible happens in a surgery and he fails to comment on it at all or anything along those lines, it's just a little bit sketchy. And I think it speaks to the person that Brian Kelly is.
And to tack on that, I saw Kyron Lacey's dad came out and said, like, adios. He didn't even reach out to the family after Kyron Lacey died.
And look, like, I will always give the benefit of the doubt, especially to coaches and stuff like that. But there's enough out there about Brian Kelly for me to firmly say that I think he's a terrible human being. I don't think he's a good person. We talked last week about used car salesman head coaches and, things of that nature. And quite frankly, I think LSU should have made this move. Or they should have never hired him in the first place, but they should have made this move to fire him long before this year.
Where does the scissor lift come in on this story?
So
I feel like that's the only thing I've ever heard about it.
No, that's a completely different story. So
same, still Brian Kelly?
Still Brian Kelly.
Okay.
Brian Kelly, excuse me.
Elkins, I had not heard that story that you just told.
I hadn't either.
Yeah, is that I don't know. I've honestly failed at
I'll pull this
covering
up.
this story the best I could, but it's
I'll pull the scissor lift story up.
It's the first bits of videos I saw this kid being interviewed, and he was just like, obviously I would love to play the game again, but I can't. So I just watching it's good enough for me. And it was really emotional. I was like, gosh, getting choked up here. But Brian Kelly has never had a conversation with this kid past surgery. So it's
wow.
Well, in other news, time does move faster at your head than at your feet. I looked it up. I did fact check that. There is a Forbes article, so we all know Forbes cannot lie. So it does move faster. Actually, I want to look up this scissor lift story.
Well, while we're covering this scissor lift story, today's a pretty sad day for some families. Today is the Day of the Dead for pets, if you didn't know that. I found that out today at the ripe age of 24, that on October 27th, people are supposed to just share a minute and think about your past pets that you've had that have passed. And for some people, they've lost pets today, the past week. Texas A&M lost their border collie earlier this year. And I really believe, I've got a theory here, that they might just win the national title.
Their schedule is definitely favorable enough for that. I went through it. I was reading it through the other day, and I was just kind of surprised that, I mean, that's just in terms of being in the SEC and getting that schedule for a draw is like insane. Not taking anything from Texas A&M. They're a great team.
We will get more into that. But
I was big on them going into week one too. But yeah, R.I.P. Emmett, R.I.P. Smokey, my two dogs. Also R.I.P. Barstool Beef, R.I.P. Nick Mangold. Sad week all around. Tough weekend.
R.I.P. Catfish.
Rest in peace, Yogi.
Yeah, two great people we lost this weekend, and yeah, so it's tough, but got to move on. Anyways, boys, let's get into.
Well, I was gonna say I have spark notes on Brian Kelly killing a kid.
Wow.
Okay,
I can.
You got 10 seconds. Oh, 10 words, Mal. 10 words. We've done this before. 10 words.
Okay. 10 words. Windy.
Yep.
20-year-old student. Can we count that as shit?
Yeah, we'll put 20 parentheses year old student.
Windy. 20-year-old student. Videographer. Scissor lift. Operate camera. Kelly. Say so. Fall. Damn, that was not very good.
Did
We
the
didn't
kid
do-
die?
The kid did die. So basically, it was very windy. There was wind advisories in effect in South Bend, Indiana. They held practice outside, and Brian Kelly didn't directly send the kid up in the scissor lift, but the coach, nobody on the coaching staff, nobody on the football team was like, hey, it's probably not a smart idea to send a kid up in a scissor lift to record practice in a wind advisory. So we went up there. Unfortunately, did fall, was rushed to South Bend Hospital, and, did die. Brian Kelly really didn't comment too much on it. His only real comment that I saw on this was that Notre Dame has systems in place to protect the student athletes, and the people on there, and the systems failed that day. So
yeah, scissor lifts are terrifying, dude. I've had to go in, like, I only get on them inside, just more of like but I go up like 15 feet, and I'm like, no, because they start wobbling. I can't imagine being outside in the wind on that, probably uneven ground. No, not doing it. Nope.
But yeah, I mean, that's all around just awful story. But I mean, it does beg the question, how does anybody on that coaching, so not even Brian Kelly, I mean, how does anybody on that coaching staff not go, hey, dude, don't go up. We have a friggin' wind advisory in effect.
Well, now they have things that you don't have to.
And that was, anymore, that was on October 27th, 2010 is when that happened.
Yeah,
wow.
That was a while back. That was a while back.
Oh my gosh, it was
15
today.
Years ago today.
15 years ago today. Wow.
That's just a little strange.
That's a little creepy. That's a little creepy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into college football this past weekend. Indiana put an absolute spanking on UCLA this weekend. Let's talk about it.
They're the best team in the country.
It's a shellacking.
Down. I mean, everything we said about Miami is what Indiana truly is.
Yeah. It's so impressive, dude. And I said this before, and I'll say it again, but like the absolute pace that Kurt Signetti turned that program around, and quite honestly built the program, is like record speed.
I mean, that is EA college football, like, level.
Win a national championship in your second year.
Yeah, like,
that's kind of crazy.
Now, you can't crown the national championship yet. I mean, at the end of the day, we still don't know a lot about the Big Ten. Ohio State really hasn't played anybody. That Texas team is not good at all. We'll get into that later. So Ohio State really hasn't been tested. Oregon's only test was Indiana, and that was a really close game. Indiana's only real test was Oregon, so we can't really judge anything yet, but I think Indiana on paper right now, they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat and beating them, handily. So
how they're supposed to beat them.
Yeah. So that's where you got to look at that and go, it's just
I would say it's them and Ohio State that are really the only teams that have done that consistently throughout the entire year. So 1-2 is a great ranking for them. Man, that's going to be a great game when we get that game.
You said it really well there, Mal, with the correlation to Miami. I think nobody's doing complimentary football better than Indiana, and that's what it comes down to when you talk about the best teams in the country. Ohio State, I would love to see them play some more quality opponents at the end of the day. I think on a talent level, Ohio State has that best team, but what Kurt Signetti looks like when his team is up 40, it's very reminiscent of what Nick Saban would do. Like, there was one break they were going into commercial, and it was just very Saban-esque. He was like, looked angry almost when they were up 40 points. It's just, it's exciting to see someone with that flair. And Indiana's fun, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a take, man. I mean, is Kurt Signetti better at being a Lane Kiffin style coach than Lane Kiffin is?
That is so weird. I literally was going to say, is if you could take Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin and make them have a baby, it's Kurt Signetti.
Like, Kurt Signetti can talk that shit. He can back that shit talk up. But then not only that, he can coach a damn football team. I mean, I genuinely think Kurt Signetti is the next, great coach. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think in the era we're in right now, you have to have that personality of a Lane Kiffin-esque. You have to have the fire of a Nick Saban of an early days Kirby Smart, which Kirby's even come out and said he's kind of lost that fire. Not in those exact words, but he's got the fire, he's got the passion, he's got the jokes, he's got the shit talk. I mean, He's got the players.
Google me is an all-time quote.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
win. Google me.
It doesn't
Yeah,
get
bro.
better than that.
It's just
Yeah.
so good. It's so good. It's really, really so good.
Yeah, it's people are talking about these buyouts day to day in modern day college football. But you got to give some credit to Signetti getting this extension just a week or so ago. I feel like we didn't touch much on that last week or gave it any love. It was so easy to mock these coaches that are getting bought out. They have the easiest life in the world now. They just get to sit at home and not have the stress. But dude, Signetti is making all of the right moves and getting this big extension. That's really reassuring to me, knowing that he's not going to be coaching at Auburn at the end of the year. But knock on wood, yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah. And we can kind of get into it. That was a great segue. Coaching carousel is speeding up, folks. Speeding up. Another head coach fired at a major program. That's 3 in a row. In terms
3
of
weeks in a row. Yeah.
3 weeks in a row. LSU, man, they're looking at $100 million price tag to complete the buyout of Brian Kelly and hire a whole new staff. It is very interesting. I don't know. There's so many big jobs open. I don't know where these major programs go, if that makes any sense. I don't know.
Kenny Dillingham is,
yeah.
I would say Kenny, as far as like kind of mid to great tier coaches, Kenny Dillingham is right there in the middle.
I think he's going to float up a lot more. I think Drink is going to float up a lot more. It's just because Kiffin obviously is not taking the Florida job. I don't think. LSU, I feel like if he were to take that job, it would be kind of a step backwards in terms of job security. They don't wait for you. They pull the plug on you quick. I mean, they gave Brian Kelly 1 recruiting cycle pretty much. That was it. He was there.
Brian Kelly was hired in
2021.
Yeah. So he's got
players through once in his system.
Yeah, you're right.
And then Orgeron too. That was very quick when they pulled the plug on him. I don't know. If you're Kiffin, you kind of, where do you go?
Here's what's concerning for me in Ole Miss, and if you're an Ole Miss fan, this is why I would feel a little uneasy right now. Is I think it was 2 weeks ago, right after the Signetti deal, Ole Miss's AD came out and said they're working behind closed doors to have a deal like that with Lane Kiffin. A deal like that is you give Lane Kiffin a blank check and you say, put whatever number is on here and we will sign that and this will be your new contract. That's how that deal works. And the fact that that deal is not done yet is a little concerning, I would say, for Ole Miss fans. I mean, especially knowing the money that an LSU program has, that a Florida program has, especially a Florida program. I think Florida, in terms of NIL, actually has a bigger budget than LSU. I don't know that for sure, but I do know Florida has very, very deep pockets. So as an Ole Miss fan, that's where I would be a little uneasy is, knowing that extension hasn't gotten done yet and that they keep saying they're quote unquote working on it. That's where I would be a little.
So the bottom line for me here is it's easy to throw out these NIL numbers, all of this, but we're dealing with Florida and LSU and Penn State as well as on this table now. Or rather LSU is on this table just now having that fresh fire, but it is scary. If I'm an Ole Miss fan, it is hard to be certain that you're going to wake up tomorrow and Lane Kiffin's going to be your coach. It's looking okay for now. The winning is there. They had a huge win this weekend, and all I'm saying is when the wheels fall off of this wagon that Lane Kiffin has at Oxford, who's to say that he's going to be coaching there next year?
Well, and that's the thing too. So you mentioned that Oklahoma, that's another job that quite possibly and probably will be open.
This weekend is huge for them.
Yeah.
Massive.
I mean, if they don't win in Knoxville, I think Brent Venables is gone.
End of the year though, right?
End of the year. No, I don't think they would fire him mid-season. Just because he's done really well. He's brought them kind of back into relevancy. So
they were really down a year ago.
Yeah.
And they've been really good and they have opportunities still in front of them. Very tough stretch for them. It is a gauntlet. Back to what you were saying with A&M, I would have liked to have that draw of SEC games for Alabama or any team. You throw out the hypotheticals. SEC fans love to do the hypotheticals.
We're all about
Oklahoma got a horrid draw, and the season only gets harder as it goes on, and big one for them.
Yeah. I'll tell you who is probably the quietest team in the country right now. 8-0 Georgia Tech. Sneaky.
Nobody's talking about this either.
About them.
Nobody's talking about this. Like, and we go back to my good boy last week when I picked Syracuse, and I said, that Duke line and the Sharps seem to be betting against Georgia Tech, and just due to they probably don't have the talent, but Georgia Tech keeps winning, and they keep winning big. I mean, they keep doing to teams what they should be doing to teams. And as a Georgia fan, that game at the end of the year has a potential to be a top 5 matchup on a Friday night in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's terrifying. It's genuinely terrifying.
I actually did not know that game was taking place in Mercedes-Benz, but I don't know how I feel about that. If Georgia's slotted to play in this SEC championship game, they just get to leave their equipment in there for 7 days? And
probably.
Practice there.
Yeah, just practice there. Just sleep.
Top down on the NOF.
Interesting.
Get them rooms at the Omni.
Yeah, but it is interesting. 8-0. I said it last week, and I think I'm still going to agree with it. Gut feeling is there will be a slip at some point. Now, whether that equates to a loss or not, I don't know. But
and the thing
is the way they've played this whole year has just been. I'm just waiting. Because that's typically what would happen with a Georgia Tech team or a team of that caliber that is popped up to a top 10 team that's normally not there. You usually see a little. It's not an exponential growth. There's some backtracking throughout the year, and I haven't seen it yet. So my gut's saying look out for that. I don't know if it's going to happen. Don't know if it's going to equate to loss, but that's just my feeling on it.
And that's the thing, too. I mean, if you look at this Georgia Tech schedule for the rest of the year, right? They've got NC State, Boston College, Pitt, and then Georgia. So, I mean, it's hard to see them losing to really any of these teams. Pitt, maybe, but that's a home game.
It's in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta. It's on the flats. So I look at this Georgia Tech team, and when I look at this Georgia Tech team, I see a playoff team. Like, I truly see a playoff team. I see a team that, I don't know what's going to happen in Atlanta. One can assume that Georgia's going to beat them, but with Georgia's defense right now, Haynes King scares the absolute hell out of me.
It's tough. I normally don't get excited about teams, but I can't help myself when I watch Georgia Tech play football. You don't get guys like Haynes King once in maybe a generation, and he is that level of toughness. I'm not saying his ball skills or anything is like that amongst a generational talent, but the toughness and grit of Haynes King is generational, and that is something that will take you a long way. If you've played the game of football, you know how important those two intangibles that, like, you want a guy like Haynes King in charge of the football on offense, and we'll see where they can go. They were ranked 7 last week, and they got dropped for winning big. They covered the spread against your Syracuse bet a week ago, or your good boy rather. Wow,
it feels like the media and the gambling sharps just don't know what to do with this team. They aren't really sure. It's kind of probably exactly how I feel now that I'm saying it out loud.
I think it's how the entire country feels.
It's kind of like, are we going to acknowledge them yet? Are we going to talk about hey guys, 8-0, they're 8-0 over here. Are we going to talk about this team yet? And everyone's like, I don't know. Probably not.
The reason behind it, and I get the reason behind it. I mean, when your best win is Clemson this year, I mean, that is your best win this year is Clemson. And it's hard to look at a team like that with the amount of passion they show. And I mean, y'all mentioned Haynes King and the grit he shows. I mean, Brent Key and Haynes King, I think, are the perfect marriage for a coach and quarterback. I think that is just watching Georgia Tech as a Georgia fan. I do watch quite a bit of Georgia Tech football, just kind of keep up with them and know what they're at. Because, a lot of time it's preying on the downfall, but recently it's been, oh shit, are they actually good?
So,
But-
I guess what song would you use to describe the Nussmeyer Brian Kelly relationship? I was gonna go to Bad Romance.
That's so out of left field, but I love it.
I do too.
Okay.
Well,
Mal,
you
do
said
you have a song?
mentioned a marriage for Haynes King and
I'm going to
Kenny's
go
songs.
Lips of an Angel for Brian Kelly and Garrett Nussmeyer.
I need some explanation.
You need
why.
some explanation here. So Garrett Nussmeyer is the one singing, right? He sees all these great coaches out there, and he's stuck with Brian Kelly, and he's sitting there on the phone with all these other coaches, probably in the portal last year. He's with these coaches talking to him. They're trying to get him to come to their program, but he's got Brian Kelly. He believed in Brian Kelly. And he goes, my girl's in the next room. And now he's thinking, sometimes I wish it was you. I guess. And the more I dig this hole, the more I think it's actually a perfect metaphor for
That's
it.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. I think this is a great move for Nuss, not having Brian Kelly there. I think the rain stopped. Sun's shining. Could be worse. You're the starting quarterback at LSU. You're going to get, hopefully, put into a system, even if it's just with an interim, that'll show your skills off a little better. It's bright days ahead. Here comes the sun. That's
And I want to
off
use
the top
that
of the dome. That's what I'll go with.
To ask Elkins, how much worse are you feeling now about that LSU game than you were this Saturday?
I was going to say it's a super, super premature look ahead as we don't even play LSU this week. We're fortunately on a bye. It feels like we've ran a marathon and we get to just put our head on our pillow for one sleep and get back to it. But, wow, when you take a team like LSU that has got so much talent and their standards, their everything that they've been taught and coached the past 5 seasons. Some of these players 5 years that are redshirt seniors, all they've known is Brian Kelly, and they've just been broken out of their chains and get to do whatever they want in Tuscaloosa in their next game because they're on a bye. They're going to practice. They're doing the same stuff we do, trying to be the toughest team in the trenches when we play in this game. It's always that first or second week of November, and you don't want to be on the losing end of this rivalry. And I'm shitting bricks, to be honest with you, Mal, to answer that question.
Well, I think the biggest thing that we hadn't really even talked about isn't really the firing of Brian Kelly. It's the firing of Joe Sloan today, their offensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
Their defense has looked really good this year. I mean, their defense has been a top 10 defense, like a top 10 team defense. That offense just hasn't been able to figure it out. So we're going to have a new guy calling plays. We're probably going to have some installs this week for LSU, some completely new mock-ups, some completely new formations. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at Alabama because they have absolutely nothing to lose.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That makes it all the more scary. They literally, nothing to lose.
Kitchen
0.
sink. Yep. It's I actually was just talking about this earlier. LSU is going to give us the best shot they've given a team in some time.
Yeah. And speaking of, that happened this past weekend too. We had South Carolina, Bama. All-time sweater. I was sweating watching it. Poor students. They also, that's on them though. It was a little premature to crowd the bushes there. I will say South Carolina it's a tough place to play. It is a tough place to play, even when their team is not very good. They show up and they show out. And Elkins, what are your thoughts as an Alabama fan?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet here, and then I'll probably expand on it. But a pick six a day keeps a naysayer away, and by God, we got a pick six early in that game, and it was the difference.
Blank.
If you want to talk about the best performance we've seen from Bama this year, you got half of it this weekend. The defense played an all-time game on the road this weekend at Williams-Brice. a guy who I thought would win the Heisman Trophy played pretty well. I don't think he plays best, but he played pretty well. Good enough to beat Alabama for sure. I've had this game circled since July. I think I was spamming that on Saturday. Like, you can't hurt my feelings when we lose because I called this game back.
You already knew it was coming.
Wait, Elkins, was there a football game on Saturday?
There might have been. I heard.
I think there was a football game. That's a little inside joke Elkins has.
I get a little bit silly on Saturdays, and I'll start asking.
Hey,
my
a little
friends.
silly Saturday never hurt.
I'll start asking my friends if there was a game or something after the game ends.
Yeah, something happened today.
Yeah, I heard there was
I don't know.
possibly a game today.
But yeah,
I even
it was
did
a
it on
really good
Sunday.
game.
I even did it on Sunday after beating them Cowboys. Pretty good, but
yeah. But yeah, other big scores this weekend. Miami beats the crap out of Stanford. I want to highlight Lane Kiffin talking smack to the player's face while getting ready to do the post-game interview. Yeah, this guy was talking a lot, you know. Yeah.
He was on McAfee today, and McAfee asked him about that, and he was like, "Yeah, man, he was just talking shit to me." He's like, I didn't want to do it on camera. He's like, I kind of feel bad, but Lane was also like, he's like, I think that's why a lot of these guys want to transfer to us. You know, is I just kind of mess with them on the sidelines. I just mess with them, but love Lane Kiffin, great personality.
Yeah. All-time
There's
moment.
only one Lane Kiffin.
All-time moment.
Yeah.
Tennessee gets a win over Kentucky, 4 yards away from 400 passing yards. Joey Aguilar, have a day, son. Tennessee's defense is very, 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 very bad. Worse than I thought. Every week I see it, it just gets worse. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We don't have to get into it, but Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt survive, and I will highlight, all caps, bold, underline, survive. That Hail Mary was an inch away from going to OT.
Go ahead and italicize it too. It was
bold,
everything.
Underline, italicized.
Yep. And I guess you can strike through. Yeah. I guess you can.
Did y'all see the Pavia post-game press conference? I mean, high keys. This guy sucks. Did y'all see the post-game where they asked him? They were asking him about. They're like, well, you know, Vanderbilt started putting on the, Pavia for Heisman campaign. What do you think about that? And instead of doing the normal answer of, man, all that's fine, but I'm just ready, looking forward to come out there with this team next week and dominate with the boys. He goes, well, yeah, I'm gonna win. I want to win the Heisman. Like, yeah, like me.
Wait, my 115 yards and an interception game today didn't show you guys I'm gonna win the Heisman?
Yeah, and like,
come on.
Just, like, I have never seen more of a me guy since probably Johnny Manziel, but even Johnny Manziel is probably more of a team player than Diego Pavia.
Yeah, I agree. And then we talked about it a few weeks ago, but the locker room in the middle of the locker, the locker in the middle of the locker room, that's like insane behavior.
Like,
it's fine.
Get it.
It's fine. It's fine. Look, I'm going to be rooting for Vanderbilt so hard this weekend. If they beat Texas at Texas and win the other games they got after that, and they roll into Neyland, and it's a top 10, maybe
it will be
top 12 matchup, and we get to knock them out, I might not. I might just ascend. You might never see me again. I might just not exist on this earth anymore. My
thing is,
duty will be fulfilled.
But the thing is, Dylan, as much as I hate Diego Pavia, I don't know if you want to give Diego Pavia that much confidence. Because that dude, I don't know, man. He's one of those guys that he's so and what's the word I'm looking for? He's such a, I feel like he's such a narcissist, self-centered narcissist almost, that if he truly believes that he's the best player in the country, he might go out there and, hang 40 or 50 on y'all, especially with the defense y'all have. Dude,
we can. I think our secondary is questionable, and I think he's a way better runner than he is a passer.
Yes,
I like how we match up with them. I'm going to be honest, but that's all I got to say.
I was really excited for this Missouri Vandy matchup, just as a past opponents aspect. It was a snooze fest,
yes.
But Bama, having played a Missouri team who I believe in, they took us to the test as well. I feel like each of these games Bama has played has put us in a position to win against South Carolina. That's aside the fact. I think Missouri's a good team. I think Vanderbilt's a good team. I'm excited for what Vanderbilt can do to Texas this weekend, but I truly believed Missouri was going to make more plays down the stretch. And to what you were just referencing there, it was a snooze fest, and that surprised me a little bit. And for the Pavia hype train to be where it's at is just silly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other big thing you got to look at in that game was Bo Pribula. That really sucked.
Brutal injury.
Really, really brutal injury. Shout out to Zollers. He went out there. He played a really good game after that. But, the Pribula injury is really, I feel like, kind of put a damper in Mizzou and everything about that.
Can you do the soundbite that's on our run of show for this Mississippi State game?
Do I want to get am I? Oh,
no. I just remembered what that was from. Just remembered what that was from. I'm not gonna have you do that. I'm not gonna have you do that.
No, I'm not.
I literally completely forgot what that was. I know the soundbite, but it didn't correlate what it actually was. Okay, that's funny.
I mean, honestly, I think we'd be good to do it. I mean, we're
not. No,
dude.
No.
What happened?
What happened to Mississippi State? What happened?
We love James Draws.
Kid rocks.
We love
dude.
James.
That's a shout out to him.
Yeah.
That was a crazy game. That was so crazy. That entire game was just nuts. I was like, dude, Mississippi State's thumping them right now. And then I was with my family. I got up and I did something. And by the time I came back, it was like a, bare knuckle fight. And I was like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, I hope you didn't blink too many times over that hour and a half, or maybe even less than that. It was Mississippi State's win and then Mississippi State's heartbreak. And wow, Barstool was fun to watch this week.
I was about to say the Barstool edits, man. I mean,
that was so fun, dude. Brandon Walker right on the sideline, and we dude, have you guys seen the AI videos that have come out where he's like tackling the Texas guy, and then there's another one where he like takes the ball out of his hands, and there's another one where he blows the guy up with a rocket launcher, and then there's also another one where he turns into the Hulk. There's so many good ones.
I haven't seen it. I need to look this up after.
No, you got to look them up. They're hilarious. They're so funny.
No, but watching the life pour out of Brandon Walker's eyes was. Honestly, it was beautiful.
So brutal. They got down on the field too. They were in the box, him and Hardy, and then they went down to the field.
Did you see his quote?
Quarter.
Did you see his quote? He goes, I was in the end. He goes, during the overtime, I went to the end zone that Mississippi State was supposed to win.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal.
Not their first overtime loss this year either. It is just it's
Tennessee. Yeah.
It's sunny in Starkville, but it's also raining. It's it's just really tough. But
how many years are we going in? How many years are we going on without an SEC win?
God,
can somebody Google that?
I don't know.
Google that?
I can Google that. What does another very early look ahead? But the game time was announced for Georgia Mississippi State, 12 p.m. kickoff in Starksville.
Ooh,
they're in Starkville.
Oh, that helps you guys out a lot.
I don't know about that.
11 p.m. or 11 a.m. local.
How long has it been since Miss State won an SEC game?
It's got to be. Is it at least 4 years? Has it been 4 years?
Let's see here. Since 2023.
Okay. 2 years.
So 2 years.
I don't know where I was getting 4.
That's
bad. Still like the drought.
Who did they beat? Let's guess real quick. Had to be Arkansas.
2023. Was the Pirates still alive then?
Mike Leach, yeah.
Yeah, he was still alive then. Yeah,
this might,
I don't know. Maybe in Arkansas. Yeah, it might have been Arkansas.
This might be a complete lack of ball knowledge, and I could just be blanking. Who the hell is Mississippi State's head coach?
Jeff Levy.
Yep. All right, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, brain fart.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's transition into our newest segment. We debuted it last week. Ball calls BAWL, where we get to be your mouthpiece for your teams that are struggling, or you just want to get something off your chest. Elkins, why don't you do me a favor and introduce this week's ball call?
This week we've got a great friend of mine. His name's Jake, and Jake is cursed. He might have been a Broncos fan 3 years ago, but he's not. Sorry, man. That's aside the fact. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus. He's a dear friend of mine, but sadly he is a Cowboys fan, and we're going to get his take on where this season's gone wrong and where last week.
Alrighty, let's go.
You don't really even need to be a ball knower to know this, but the Dallas Cowboys have a serious, serious problem. We have the most sorry defense I've ever seen. I mean, the fact that we're going to Chicago and making Caleb Williams look like an MVP, go to Charlotte and make Bryce Young look like an MVP, go to Denver and just get the brakes beat off of us. This is the sorriest defense in the world, and you could point fingers and blame it on the Micah Parsons trade. You could say it's Diggs' fault for having a shitty attitude and playing terrible all year. Maybe he's not fully healthy. You could blame it on Eberflus being the most sorry coordinator I have ever seen. There's so many people to blame, but the reality is this team is dog shit, and it's a shame because it might be one of the best offenses in the league, but when you put that much pressure on them to score, it's not going to work.
All right. Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you. His name was Jake. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you, Jake.
Jake, I think it was really well said with the allusion to going to Chicago, making Caleb Williams look like an MVP, Bryce Young looking like an MVP. This defense is really the problem at the end of the day for the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a top 5 rusher. They've got probably the 2 best wide receiver, or the best wide receiver duo rather, in the NFL. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, if I may, I saw a Jerry Jones quote talking about the trade deadline where he's kind of talking about the Micah Parsons trade, and filling that gap. But he said one player is not going to turn a defense around. While I agree with that, I also disagree with that. If you look at what Micah Parsons has done in Green Bay, the havoc this guy wreaks on a backfield, on a quarterback, that is a guy that can single-handedly help your defense and get them off the field on third down, which I haven't watched a lot of the Cowboys this year. Just will be the first one to say that. I don't know if they have a third down issue, but if your defense is that bad, I would assume you have an issue getting off the field on third downs.
But let me pose a question to the two of you and to all Cowboys fans. Would you rather have a guy who, yes, is super, super, super talented, Micah Parsons, but absolutely has zero want, does not want to be on the team, does not want to be there, no fire, or no cancers in the locker room, everybody seemingly bought in, your talent output may not be the same, but you don't have any locker room issues? That was the decision they had to make, and they made their decision.
When you have to pose the question too, though, why was Micah Parsons unhappy, right? What led Micah Parsons to that? Was it Jerry Jones? Is it the fact that Jerry Jones is just way too hands-on as an owner? What led him to being unhappy? I don't know.
Sorry. Yeah.
Was it the fact that Jerry Jones makes dick jokes about his players?
That's what I was going to say. That's what you said. Is he too hands-on as an owner? Bro, and if for people don't know what we're referencing right now, Jamie Foxx, I think that was who it was. The actor was with Jerry Jones, and he was on the live stream for whatever reason at like a very early practice. And Jerry Jones is just talking about the size of his players' members. They're Jerry Joneses. He was talking about their Jerry Joneses, how big their Jerry Joneses were. One of the weirdest moments I've ever witnessed. And after that, I think people forgot about that way too quickly. That was like an all-time weird moment, and people just kind of glossed over it and like put it under the rug. And I was like, every time I hear Jerry Jones' name, that just comes
all
to
I
my
can
mind
think about.
immediately.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
And there's a lot of ways you can look at that.
Very hands-on owner.
Well, there's a lot of ways you can look at the things that he said. Not going to get too deep into it, but not the biggest Jerry Jones fan, quite frankly.
No, I don't think he has a lot of fans.
No, I think he's far. I don't want to say outlived his, time in the NFL, but I think he is long past.
But you're going to say Earth there for a minute.
No. That's why I didn't want to phrase it like that. But I think he is long past his time in the NFL, and just think he either needs to step down as GM and just hire somebody and funnel the team, or stop being an idiot, which I don't think he will. So.
Yeah, for a franchise that prides themselves as America's team, it just raises some questions at the end of the day. I mean, they're struggling. I don't know where they're going right now. They've got the pieces on offense, and then that trade with whole Micah Parsons was that's another concern there. But yeah, just go back to that Jamie Foxx video at the end of the day.
That's all you got to know. That's all you need to know. And what a terrible weekend.
Well, I was going to ask Elkins if we could get can we get one Family Guy? Can we get it once? Give it to us once for the Broncos.
Peter, the horse is here.
Yes.
That was good. That was good. Mal, let's hear yours. I want to see if you know better.
Peter? The horse is... no, God. Oh, dude, I need to hear a voice. Hold up. Give me a second.
Peter? The horse is here.
Peter? Nah, I can't do it. Hey, Peter, the horse is here.
Yeah, do that one.
Hey, Peter, the horse is here. And that was my rendition of Joe Swanson was saying, Peter, the horse is here.
Now, I might just have you talking accents for a whole show one day. And we'll have a little wheel, and I'll spin it.
Every segment I have to talk in a different
Every 10 minutes.
Well, with Halloween being just here in 5 days, it's could be fitting for one of these segments to be ran that way from Al.
Yeah, it really could.
I mean, we can.
I think, I was talking about this with somebody that is a loyal listener to our show, and they thought you got off a little easy, Mal.
I don't really care.
I got a few text messages over the weekend about Mal getting off easy too. Yeah.
So maybe your good boy pick, you just gotta pick an accent.
Good boy. I'll do my good boy pick with an accent. I'll let y'all pick the accent.
Hold on. I got you right here.
All right.
I just got a new iPhone. I'm trying to figure out how to do the AI. I'm going to figure it out.
Oh, you got one of the new AI.
What do I have to hold down?
I think it's just AI replace Siri, if I'm not mistaken. Elkins,
can you give me a random accent? Sorry, I don't understand. All right, give me a second. You guys continue.
All right. So yeah, absolute just trash week in the NFL. One game finished as a one-score game. Like, we had one game that was close.
And it might have been the game of the season, but for these fans, not for an NFL fan. The Jets obviously being that game we were referencing, and wow, it was phenomenal. And not if you're a Bengals fan. Wow, it was just, it seemed like a knockout punch. You had Joe Burrow there on the sidelines, but do we have our accent ready?
Yeah, give me
so I asked ChatGPT, this is probably backwards for you guys, to give us an accent. It says, Mal, you need to do a French accent. Let me read this out to you. Go for a French accent. It's dramatic, charming, and instantly recognizable. Tips: drop the H sound completely. So hello would be hello.
Hello.
Pronounce TH
hello,
like Z or S. So this would be this, or that would be that. Keep your lips rounded like you're about to say ooh.
Ooh.
Here's a phrase to practice.
Okay.
But of course, life is too short not to enjoy the croissant and the coffee, no?
But of course, life is too short not to enjoy the coffee and the croissants.
That's pretty good. All right. Keep it on deck. Keep it on deck. Yep, that's on deck for the good boy. I love it.
Peter, the horse is here.
Oh, Peter, the horse is here.
Oh.
Can I
Dude,
just say, this is in the most endearing way possible. When I was in Italy, so obviously a lot of people from around Europe vacation in Europe because it's just easy to get everywhere. There's two types of people you could be like, I know where you're from just by looking at them. One was Americans because we were all fat, and two was French, and it's because of the way they sit when if they're like having a coffee, if they're having any meal. They are the most lean back. They'll have like their hand on the table with like a cigarette or a shot glass or something, and they just lean all the way back. They're just constantly leaning back. So I think I'm going to have you lean back. People. Very relaxed people. So I think you're going to have to do that for the good boy as well.
So
yes,
is it true that the French, I don't want to say hate Americans, but do not. Okay.
So true. They do not like us. Yeah. They hate Americans.
And then
rightfully
last
so,
thing, my brain went in just flashback mode. So when I said VV, do y'all remember that episode? I think it was Sweet Life on Deck, where he goes, wee wee, and she goes, first door on the left. I don't know why that popped in my head. Oh, dude. Great show. Arguably top Disney show of all time. Not On Deck. Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Yeah, the original one. Yeah,
OG,
dude, the Hannah Montana crossover, bro.
Just gold. Just
cinema.
Gold. Absolute cinema.
I feel like you guys are not as excited about the Hannah Montana Sweet Life crossover as I was.
You know what I really loved? I really loved the Disney Channel games. You know why? Because I would just roll over at 4:07 a.m. and on my TV would be the Disney Channel games. I never watched an episode, never watched any of it. But every time, like anywhere from 3 a.m. to like 4:45 a.m., if I rolled over in my bed and took a glance at the TV, it was Disney Channel games.
Did anybody else, like when they were kids, did their parents set the sleep timer on their TVs and then it would go off and you would turn it back on and turn the volume down and just pray they didn't know it was on? Or is that just a me thing? Yeah.
That's such a universal kid experience.
Yeah.
I feel like. Yeah. Definitely. Let's talk about NFL. Let's get back to NFL. Sorry.
The NFL was a snooze fest this week. So.
Yeah. Titans suck. Jonathan Taylor is an absolute beast.
Falcons suck.
Peter the Horse is here. Falcons suck. Jets. All time. That was a great win for them. And they did it for Mangold, man. It's what it felt like. It was pretty. I kind of knew that was going to happen. You just had a feeling, you know?
Well, and I want to say too, this is a little personal beef here, but the Jets are 1-7 and I'm about to be 0-8 in fantasy. And that makes me feel really, really bad.
The Jets have a better record.
The Jets have a better record.
I'm handing you an L this week, man.
Dude, I kind of crashed out last night. I'm not going to lie.
Why don't you tell everybody what your team name is?
Well, right now it's Free Win.
That's the name of his team is Free Win.
when we started the year, my team name was Off to Grandma because you cannot beat Off to Grandma.
Oh my god. My god. And let's just say we've got a few sickos in our league.
We got a few we've got 8 sickos in our league that beat Off to Grandma.
Hey, and I wasn't one of them. I'm probably okay. Let's try.
I haven't done it. I haven't done it yet. Yeah.
Hey, there's still time to drop Krosky.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's. Any other NFL remarks? It was kind of a snooze fest.
Aaron Rodgers looked like Superman in the first half and then just disappeared, man. I mean, I don't know. It literally after that offsides call or the offsides on defense that didn't get called, they just died. I don't really know what else to say about the Steelers. It was just.
I want to say that some of us live in a world where Jonathan Taylor got drafted in the 3rd round.
Yes.
And that should not be the case. But yeah, the only thing notable in that Colts-Titans game is fantasy. It's football. There's the football that happened on that field. You know, it's 2 different positions that these teams are in. Obviously, the Titans are building. They just got rid of their coach. It's difficult. And the Colts are the best team in the AFC. So that's usually the result you get with teams that get rid of their coach playing the best team in their conference.
When I have a bone to pick with the Colts, too, How the hell are you going to let Jonathan Taylor go out and get 3 touchdowns on National Tight End Day, and you're not going to get your tight end a touchdown, who's arguably one of the top tight ends in the league right now? That's absurd. Absolute absurd. So all my Tyler Warren people out there, I'm with you guys. I stand with y'all.
Yep.
I'm hurting right now.
I had him in another league. I'm with you. Yeah. I'm with you on that. You guys wanted to talk a little World Series real quick?
Yeah. Elkins, what you got anything?
I guess to start out with the MLB, I almost said NLB. The NFL.
The NFLB.
Okay. Baseball mode. Yes, the MLB playoffs have been a little bit boring, but you have to admire greatness if you're a fan of the game, and that is what Shohei Ohtani has done. We did not even talk about the best performance that has ever happened on a baseball diamond before. 3 home runs, 10 strikeouts a week ago. These Dodgers are beyond a good baseball team. They are these are going to be all-time teams we're talking about if they go back-to-back. Big game 3 tonight as we are recording this, but it's boring. Nobody wants to see repeats, especially when it's the biggest team in the market. But while we're here, we might as well just watch greatness happen. This is a special group.
And then, a little bit on the World Series, man. I mean, after that game 1, you thought there might be a sliver of hope for Toronto, but come back, you fall back to earth on Saturday, and you realize that this Dodgers team is insane. Yoshinobu Yamamoto threw an absolute gem on Saturday. Complete game.
Say his name in a French accent.
Yoshinobu. Nah, that was Japanese. I don't think it's possible to say that.
That was a trap.
That was so a trap.
I don't think it's possible to say
That was a
his
trap.
name in a French accent. I don't think that's
That
possible.
was 100% a trap you just walked into.
Everybody tune in to listen to the redneck try to do a French accent.
That's
This ought
getting
to be
clipped.
great. Yeah.
And pronounce a Japanese player's name. Yes.
Oh God, no.
That should go well.
Oh, that's so good. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Jays absolutely stellar performance in game 1. They did what they had to do. They got into the Dodgers bullpen. But to do that over the course of a 7-game series is going to really just take a miracle. I mean, the Dodgers are probably going to come back tonight and just roll in Dodger Stadium. Quite frankly, I'm shocked if this game goes back to, or if this series goes back to Toronto.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm over here trying to get real analysis.
Till tomorrow.
All right, hold on. VV Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Nah, it's still Japanese. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. I really don't think that's possible to pronounce his name in a French accent.
I commend you for even taking that chance. Smart man.
Kind of interesting that Canada's generally like a French-speaking country, so it's got to be interesting. There's probably some networks out there that commentate these baseball games in French. So let's tune in for Shohei Ohtani at bats tonight or sometime this week.
I'm sure we could find a broadcast from Saturday and listen to a French guy pronounce Yoshinobu Yamamoto's name.
That.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure somewhere.
Man, I'm going to task you doing that. Not now, but at some point.
Well, no, I mean that's going to take some. That's going to take some deep research.
Some digging.
That's going to take some digging.
All right. Yep. Let's get into Sport Court this week. We'll do the round table. I'm locked and loaded. Mine's quite simple, so if I can lead it off, that'd be great.
You got it.
All right. I've sued this entity, I don't know, 5 times this year? I don't know. Titans. It's so sad. I hate Sundays now. I hate Sundays. I get no pleasure from Sundays. Like watching, and I said this last night, I was at dinner while the game was going on because who am I to devote my entire attention to this team? I won't do it anymore. But watching this Titans team, specifically the offense, every time, and I quite literally mean every time we have the ball, you just are waiting for a blow up to happen, something terrible to happen. You're guaranteed going to get it. And that's the crazy part about it. Every single time they have the ball, and I'm like watching them, and this is for every game this season, something horrendous happens. Every possession, something. They've never had a drive start to finish that's been a great drive. Something horrendous has happened every possession, and I have no joy on Sundays anymore. I've resorted to putting most of my energy towards my wife's team this year. That's where I'm at. So I'm suing the Titans, and and the restitution is quit screwing us. Eddie George said it in an interview. I might have said this last week too, but he talks about how the owner has set this I don't want to call it program because it's not that, but this team back a decade plus. And I 100% agree. It's just miserable.
I mean, you look at Amy Adams Strunk, and, I had about 2 years there as a, Titans fan living in Nashville. I've reverted back to factory settings, which is still miserable being a Falcons fan.
Factory settings.
But in my time following this Titans team, Amy Adams Strunk has taken an AFC champion caliber team, traded away A.J. Brown, arguably one of the better, probably a top 5, top 10 wide receiver in the league. Would y'all say top 5 wide receiver in the league? I mean, not right now probably, but
past
when he was
5
traded,
years,
yeah,
top 5, 100%.
Yes. Right now, no, but so you trade arguably a top 5 wide receiver in the league. You just let the offensive line fall to shit. You're going from GM to GM to GM. You fire Mike Vrabel, who has basically revived his career in New England. The best thing to ever happen to Mike Vrabel was getting fired by the Titans, because Mike Vrabel was not going to leave the Titans.
And don't forget, you fire another GM after that.
Yeah.
After you fire Mike Vrabel. Don't forget that. That's important.
Yeah, I mean, Rand Carthen was awful. Who the hell even is the GM now for?
Mike Borgonzi came from the Chiefs.
Borgonzi, that's right.
Yeah.
And
but it's just funny. You hire a GM who butts head with Vrabel, so you fire Vrabel, and then you turn around the next season and fire the GM that you fired Vrabel for. It makes no sense. 0 sense.
And, I mean, the only restitution I can think of for you, Dylan, it's going to have to come from the fans. The fans are going to have to fire Amy Adams Strunk. And
here's the issue. We do that. The team's gone.
And that's the sad part about it. I mean, yes and no. I don't think the team leaves, especially with the new stadium that's being built.
City owns the stadium.
The city owns a stadium. But as Titans fans, don't buy your PSLs. Don't renew your PSLs. Don't buy tickets for this new stadium. I mean, but it's like you said, if y'all do that, I mean, the team's gone.
Can I tell you something absolutely insane?
Yeah.
So I know probably 4 people that have looked into getting PSLs for this new Titan Stadium. Upper level, 2 seats. I want you guys to give me a price tag. What you think? What you think they cost?
I'll let Elkins go first because I know.
Elkins, do you have a guess on how much?
I have no idea.
Cost? All right, 2 seats, upper level, in the new stadium.
2 seats, upper level in the new stadium. Season tickets.
Yep.
Well, PSL.
PSL.
Do you know what a PSL is?
No.
Seat license.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get licensed to that seat for all events.
Okay, I see now. Oof. Is that way too much?
That's way too much.
I have no idea where.
I don't know the exact.
Tell him what a reasonable PSL is.
So a reasonable PSL at Nissan Stadium, I think they were hovering around 2,500 to 3,000, I believe is what they were hovering. I talked to people that say they 3 to 4x for the new stadium, and that's just for the PSL. You still have to buy your season tickets on top of the PSL.
They've dropped them. Let me tell you what they were before the season started. PSLs at the new stadium before this season started for 2 upper level tickets, $18,000. Crazy.
Whoa. I was gonna drop it back down to 7,500 to keep it on that 75. But,
yeah, no.
But am I wrong? I mean, but the PSLs for Nissan were what, like 3,000?
Yeah,
I think.
bad.
Yeah,
they were. Bad.
But yeah, I mean, I talked to people. One of my reps, whenever I worked up in Nashville, he had season tickets. He's like, dude, I can't.
Yeah.
He was like, he's been to every home game, and That's what you do when you build a new stadium. You do this is you're going to alienate all your fans. And quite frankly, you give it 10 years, I don't think Tennessee has a football team anymore.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Hockey
Very
town.
sad. Meh.
Hell, even the Preds are dog shit now.
Well, shout out to the NHL for just kicking back up, too. We don't really give hockey much love on this podcast, but we are a sports podcast. And go Preds. Go
Frozen
Avalanche.
Frenzy tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Frozen Frenzy's tomorrow.
Other sport courts. Sorry, I completely ate up that whole segment.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, you got it.
All right. I am suing Detroit, the city of Detroit. Y'all not hear about this?
You better sleep with one eye open tonight.
Yeah, we got a lot of Detroit stands in our neck of the woods.
No, I'm suing the city of Detroit. The Detroit fans are going to absolutely agree 100% with me. So the city of Detroit has banned nicotine pouches at all sporting events. All sporting events. If they catch you with nicotine pouches, at first it's a warning, then it's a fine, then it's permanent removal from all stadiums and barred for life.
Kids Little League.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, like all stadiums. Now, I understand why they did this. Anybody that's worked in bars or has been around the bar scene knows that nicotine pouches, when not disposed of correctly, get thrown in urinals, they get stuck to walls, they are just a pain to clean up. But at the same time, man, I mean, you got Detroit sports fans that are just on edge all the time. You got to let these guys have a little bit of relief. I mean, you got to give these guys some relief, man.
All right, Jerry Jones.
Relief these people.
But I mean, I feel like banning nicotine pouches is not going to solve this issue. I mean, it's impossible to tell when you have one in. Like, genuinely, it's impossible.
Yeah, what are they
going
to do? Just like
go lift up your lip, like so. But I don't know. I guess they see you put one in, but they passed a city ordinance. Like, they passed a law. And it passed through that says they are banned. Like, it is a whole thing.
Can't have shit in Detroit.
I know. These cops are going to have to just go around to people and be like, let me see them lips,
Let me see them lips, boy.
You're going to jail.
Let me see them lips, boy. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, honestly, and there really isn't there really isn't a restitution for this. I mean,
just create nicotine-centric trash cans.
I mean, I guess SIG's inside again.
I guess that's the restitution is we're going to start ripping SIGs inside the dome.
Yeah, I mean, SIG's inside Ford Field, baby.
Every time Jahmyr Gibbs scores a touchdown, just rip some SIGs.
Light up a gar, bro.
Yeah.
It's going to look like BDS the third Saturday.
All right. Enough. You pissed me off with that. Elkins, go ahead.
Already pissed me off again.
You already pissed me off.
I had a couple routes I wanted to go. One is a particular college team, but I'm going to save them for later this year. That's all I'm going to say. The other one is Cleat Blakeman. Any guesses on who Cleat Blakeman is?
I'm going to guess like
I was
going to say it sounds like the name of a backyard baseball character.
I was going to say
I like the name.
I was going to say it's Mr. and Mrs. Bateman's son.
Blakeman, yes.
Or Blakeman, yeah.
Cleat Blakeman, he officiated the football game yesterday of the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't care about the result. I tend to like the Giants a little bit. I rep the Giants jersey from time to time on these shows, but there was a play in this game that was disgraceful to the game of football, and the only reason I'm suing him is because there was no whistle, but there was a fumble. There was a loose ball with no whistle. By definition, that's a fumble. And there was no knee down on Jalen Hurts on this tush push. Not even a tush push thing here. But I understand forward progress. I understand the whistles. There was no whistle. It wasn't even a late whistle. There was no whistle. I was really upset about this play. In the moment of the game, it derailed the Giants' momentum. They weren't winning on Sunday. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, Cleat Blakeman.
Yeah, well, if you're watching, you saw me mute my mic and practice my good boy. So
his restitution is that Roger Goodell needs to put a magnifying glass on next week's game. I'm gonna figure out what game Cleat Blakeman is officiating and probably take the home team because he might try to help him out. But what I saw, look, again, I don't care about the game. If anything, it was a really devastating game for Giants fans, losing Scatabo. There was so much going on that went wrong for them. But then there was just this anti-football moment that hurt, like me as a defensive guy. You guys are more offensive-minded guys. It killed me inside watching that play happen because it's already impossible to stop. And then when you get a fumble forced, which has never been seen before on a tush push, it's a loose ball, and it wasn't called a loose ball, and it was a little upsetting to see. That's all I've got to say for my.
At the end of the day, the play will be banned. Like they will
legally talk about this. So.
You will get on the hot seat, but I will say, after everything that's unfolded this year, when that vote comes to pass this offseason, and that vote comes up, it will be banned. There's no doubt in my mind. And
we're banning a play because of the refs.
No. We're banning a play because of how hard said play is to officiate.
I want to just reassess my position here. I am not in favor of banning the tush push. I am in favor of getting better referees for these Eagles games because there was no whistle and there was a loose ball with no knee down. And then there was a whistle and then there was forward progress, and it was really fishy. So Cleat Blakeman, you're the head official. You have got to make the right call here. And we just need some accountability in this league. The tush push is a good play. The O-line on the Philadelphia Eagles is as tough as they come. They have a quarterback that squats 600 pounds. Nobody in the league has that.
And that was going to be kind of what I said too, is Philly doesn't even need the push part of that play, right? Philly could line up Jalen Hurts at quarterback with no help behind him, and he could get in behind that offensive line and push that offensive line himself. If they do that, there's no debate. There's no, it's a standard quarterback.
And then you add Quadzilla Saquon pushing behind him. That's insane, bro. Think of how much power that is pushing.
That's what I'm saying.
That's insane. That's crazy.
The play inherently is a quarterback sneak. So they're not banning the play. They're just banning the pushing of the quarterback from behind during a quarterback sneak, which I don't think.
That is a good point, though. That is a good point, Mal. If the issue is it's hard to officiate, how is it different from a quarterback sneak? If that's their grounds for banning it, how is it different? Because you lose the quarterback easily visually on a QB sneak, 9 times out of 10. So if that's their grounds for banning it, then they have to ban the quarterback sneak.
Yeah, and I mean, I it's such a hairy situation because it is a quarterback sneak.
Another
I mean, there's nothing. Oh my gosh.
I mean, you have to love quarterback sneaks. It's one of the most football plays there is, other than a fullback dive. I think that's the only thing that's more football. But yeah, it's a little bit shitty. It's tough. There's going to have to be some conversations behind closed doors, and I hope it doesn't completely go away. And I don't think it will because of how strong these Eagles are. They're a tough team. But I do want to throw in one more funny nugget that I thought about from last week's NFL that we did not cover. But what do you think that rookie defensive tackle was thinking for the Minnesota Vikings whenever they put him flat on the ground?
Yeah.
Did you see that one tush push instance in that game?
He was probably thinking, I'm going to look like Flat Stanley after this.
Dude, what are you thinking in the meeting room on Tuesday when they're like, all right, here's what you're going to do to stop the tush push? And I'm going to die.
You want me to sacrifice my life to stop this play? It's like, yes.
That's
yes,
basically what you got to do.
We did pay you millions of dollars. So yes, we're going to ask you to lay your life down.
You know who I think could stop the tush push? There's only one player I think that could stop the tush push. That's Cam Scatabo. No, Cam Scatabo. You got to put Cam Scatabo. Well, not now. I mean.
Did you guys see what Big Dom did?
No.
Big Dom, after Scatabo got, is it Scatabo or Scataboo? I've heard them, they say Scataboo on TV.
Scatabo.
Big Dom took him cheesesteaks and wings to his hospital room after the game. Shout out Big Dom.
God, we love Big Dom.
Respect.
Big Dom rocks.
And that's another reason I hate Philadelphia with a passion. I don't think it's any secret that I do not like the city of Philadelphia. But
Sleeping
damn,
with your eyes
it is hard. It is hard to hate the Eagles. As much as I hate,
They're fun, dude. They're
dude,
fun.
I know, and that's what I hate. I mean, they draft Georgia players,
Philadelphia Bull Tide.
hey, basically, and then to cap it all off, you got a big Dom on the sidelines just causing havoc.
Who has quite literally, he's just
Yeah.
a big Italian
Yeah. Uh,
they just hired to sit on the sideline. He has no role really. Like he's just there. Like, you know, it's like, oh, who's this guy? You know, a quality control assistant for the offense coordinator. Oh, who's this
Yeah.
guy? Quarterback coach. Who's that guy? Oh, that's just Big Dom.
It's just Big Dom.
That's just Big Dom.
Like-
Just got a chain. Like he's just like, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that makes it so hard to hate the Philadelphia Eagles. Like,
I love him.
God, I mean, because the Braves come first. And for that reason, I will always hate the Phillies.
I will say, I think, I probably have said this before in the podcast, I think the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tennessee Volunteers are sister teams. There's a lot that we both do that it's weird. And I didn't really realize this. Me and my wife went to the Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl in Phoenix a few years back, and that's my only Eagles game I've ever been to is the Super Bowl. I'm trying to get to the bank at some point, maybe this season, maybe next season, but or Lincoln, the link.
Yeah, I was about
The
to say
bank
the
is
Banks
the baseball,
Citizens.
the link. I'm gonna get my throat.
The bank's
slit for
pretty
that
cool
one.
too. You should.
The bank's
yeah.
pretty.
Well,
I have
you-
been to the bank a few
yeah.
times. I've been to the link for a Luke Combs concert, but not a football game. I got to get for a football game. But just singing the Fly Eagles Fly, like the singing. So the Fly Eagles Fly and Rocky Top, both are just songs that get sung in the stadium 24/7. Fans are considered assholes by pretty much everybody, everywhere. And just the fans. I think it's the fans and the songs and I don't know, they just give the same energy to me. And I think that's why I like them so much. It's easy for me to slip into it. But yeah.
I mean, it is Halloween. You put on your Philly. You put on your Philly
I
costume.
had a Kelly Green shirt on all day yesterday. I did not wear Titans not once.
I
and
mean,
felt
I'm
great.
good with it. Now the sacrilegious part came whenever I saw you in a Phillies jersey.
They were not playing the Braves. They were not playing
I
the
don't
Braves.
care. I don't care. That is sacrilegious.
What am I supposed to wear?
A neutral, plain white T-shirt.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I almost got jumped because somebody asked me something and I said, I'm a Braves fan. I'm not even, well, I say that loosely. I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of here. I was like, I'm just kind of existing. I'm with our family. It's almost like wearing a bulletproof vest. That's all it was.
I'll give you that. I'll honestly
It's
give you that.
just like, protection, you just got to fit in. You just got to blend
I
in.
do want to go to a Braves Phillies series in the bank though. That would
Bro, it's crazy.
I know.
The amount of, you can't even go to the pisser, bro, without people trying to assault you. It's crazy. There was one guy who said we were walking into the game. This was a Braves Phillies game at the bank. And he's like, why are you even here? He's like, what are you even doing here? And I looked at him dead in the face and said, to do what we always do. And this is back when the Braves were good. And I said, spank you, have a few beers and go home. And then we ended up winning like 15-0. It was the most electric thing ever.
He probably
But
thought you were like I don't
prophet.
even know. Yeah,
a prophet.
yeah, exactly.
This guy, oh. But okay, let's get back on track here. Let's go talk about college football this next week. First game on the slate is Penn State, Ohio State.
I mean,
Hmm.
this is the first. I mean, do you want to call it a test? I mean, it's not really a
No.
test. I
No.
mean,
This is like if the test was, please write your name on this piece of paper. That's what it is.
this is like the PSAT. It doesn't mean shit.
But it's easier than the PSAT.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, you can go out there and bond the PSAT and have no consequences.
Just
I
like
guess that's-
like a learner's permit test.
I think it's really interesting that this spread as of this moment is minus 20.5. We saw Ohio State go on the road at Illinois. Or correct me if I'm wrong. I think that game was
Yeah,
in Champaign,
Yeah, it was.
and it was closed at minus 15 in favor of Ohio State. And this is only 20.5. Like, We're not a sports betting advocate podcast. What's that?
I'm raising my hand. Sorry, you just jogged my memory, and I completely forgot to talk about this weeks ago. That you're speaking of the Illinois-Ohio State game. Luke Altmaier with possibly the worst quote that's trying to get people fired up quote of all time before that game. I think he said, "They have to come here to our home." That was it. that was his entire quote. I remember reading, I think Fox or Big New Kickoff posted that. I was like, that's quite literally the worst quote I've ever heard before a big game.
Yes,
That's
Luke, you are right. They do have to come. Yes, you are right, Luke.
They
that
are
is
contractually
a fact.
obligated to show up for this game. Yes, that's true. But carry on. Sorry.
So Ohio State, we kind of touched on this in the recap, but they have not really been tested. I mean, they had really a piss poor Texas team that just hasn't been able to put it together this year and only beat them 14-7 at home, might I add, in the big bad shoe. Ooh, I'm going to take my shoe off and wave it around in the air. You know they do that, right? Before every kickoff, they take their shoes off. Yeah, not freaking. I don't like Ohio State.
I can't.
I think the Toronto Blue Jays do that too.
Do they?
Or no, it was the Mariners.
But yeah, so why. And then you look, and their next toughest game is Illinois, who got exposed again this past weekend. We didn't talk about that game, but Illinois got exposed again, and that's their next toughest game. And then if you look on their schedule, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, Michigan. If they lose that Michigan game, it's just hard to look at this team and go.
Now, can you tell me what their strength of schedule is in the country real quick?
Yes.
We'll kind of move on here real quickly because I don't think there's too much to say about this game. We already kind of talked about Vandy at Texas. I'm pulling for Vandy as much as that may shock some people, only because I want to knock them off the podium. Elkins, what's your take on this Vanderbilt Texas game?
I'm going to say that Arch Manning is going to have to show up to work on Saturday for the first time.
Off a great week, too.
It's up to him to win this game. He did bounce back well against Mississippi State, but Vanderbilt is much better than Mississippi State. They're at home. Mal's got it.
So I am on team rankings right now. I think all three of us agree that team rankings is a reliable source to get information.
Reliable enough, yeah.
I am NCAA college football strength of schedule rankings. Number 1 is Alabama, rightfully so. Number 2 is Notre Dame. Georgia's number 3. They have Ohio State at 7.
Where's Florida at?
Florida is 5. And Texas A&M is 6. Indiana is 4.
What?
So
this is insane.
They're giving the Big Ten
not a reputable source anymore.
No, I mean, it's not there. It's not there.
Florida's not number 1. What was it that Florida had in terms of strength? Was it 7 ranked games to start the season? What was it?
I will tell you real quick.
Besides, not start the season, but almost in a row besides USF.
So Florida to start the year had Long Island, South Florida, LSU, Miami, Texas,
LSU,
Texas
Miami,
A&M.
Texas A&M.
Then they have Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee still left to
brutal.
play.
That's brutal.
I will say though, Alabama, the back half. I mean, but I do understand the Alabama because I mean you've got
I get Alabama.
Yeah, I mean Georgia, Vandy, Missouri, Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma, and then Auburn. So still a pretty on the
wild. That's wild.
But Ohio State at 7, man. I mean, I don't know how these are determined, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it just feels like that schedule is not the 7th hardest schedule.
That might have been preseason?
No, this is like updated. 10-27-25.
It could factor in the way they're beating these teams. They have not stressed out at one point this season.
Then why would they be 7? Wouldn't their strength, if they're beating these teams that bad? That's what I'm saying. But wouldn't their strength of schedule be worse?
Exactly. I think it's an inverse relationship there.
Well, I mean, I think
to make a graph.
What Elkins is saying is the teams they're playing are not going to change in their like strength rating. But if a team is right here on the strength rating and you beat the shit out of them, then that makes you look even better. So because this is a strength of record. This is a strength of record.
Because Bama beat Vandy by 16 who's, I guess, considered a really tough team. I don't know. Tennessee's also a tough team, beat by 17. So I can see why Bama's won on that metric, but I think
I'm not surprised by Bama being number one. No, it's either them or Florida.
we did lose to Florida State, who's I think probably in the 30s on the strength of skill. We can go on and on about that, but the game's got to be played.
So the College Football Power Ranking Index for ESPN on the resume side, not the FPI side. FPI side is I don't know what the hell's going on there. Has Texas A&M with the number 1 strength of record, Indiana with the number 2 strength of record, and then Ohio State with the number 3 strength of record. So it has to be what Elkin said, where they're just valuing the Big Ten at this level, which the Big Ten very well could be good. I mean, the SEC, we always do this shit where we're like, the Big Ten's awful, and then we just get absolutely shit rocked in the postseason and bowl season, and we're just like...
We're undefeated in hypotheticals, so I don't get what they're saying.
Isn't that so fun, though? We can just be like, yeah, we're the SEC.
Yeah, I mean...
With absolutely nothing to back it up.
All right, boys. I'm gonna give y'all each a guess to guess the number 5 strength of record team according to ESPN Power Index.
One guess.
One guess.
Right. Can you rate us the top 4?
Texas A&M 1, Indiana 2, Ohio State 3, Alabama 4. I'll give you a hint. It's a West Coast team.
Is it UCLA?
No.
USC?
No, that's 2 guesses. Elkins?
Oregon?
No. BYU.
Well, that's not West Coast.
Sort of, but
it's
not really.
Utah is not the coast?
It's not the coast. I mean, I meant West. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You should just said...
If I'd have said West, you wouldn't have guessed BYU anyways. Let's be real here.
That's true.
And then the dogs are behind them.
All right, let's get back into this. Mal, what is... In our schedule here, you put WLOCP. What does that mean?
That is the world's largest outdoor cocktail party there, sir. Okay. That is the Georgia-Florida football game.
I know what that is. I didn't know there was a...
Well, you don't know this.
For it. Yeah.
So it's the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
I know
I've never heard of that. I've
never heard of the WLOCP. It sounds like I just got in trouble at work and I'm going to have to watch this freaking training video.
Nah, I just wrote that down because I knew what it meant.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you know what it meant. But go ahead, talk about it.
I mean, same, tells us all the time. Georgia's going to come out, probably look like dog shit in the first half. Offense is going to do whatever it takes. Defense is going to hunker down in the second half, and Georgia's going to win the football game. Might not be pretty. Georgia's going to get a win. I mean, at this point, I'm just spinning wheels trying to predict what the hell Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann and Mike Bobo is going to do at this point. I just come out expecting the worst in the first half, and then knowing good and damn well they're going to get it together at halftime.
I agree. I don't think this game needs too much love. However, I think we're either going to see the first or second best performance from Florida this season. And if it's the second best performance, it's not going to be good enough. Georgia will roll. If it's their best performance of the season, we don't know how good Florida could be, and they could hang in there. But they're not winning this game. The second half will be a tale as told as time, just as you were mentioning.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, like, and I don't ever want to discredit Florida because I have given them a lot of credit on this show. I had said how good I think Florida's defense is, and truly, I think this is Georgia's third real defensive test. I guess Alabama's the first, but then Auburn had a really good defense too that really shut Georgia down. So I will be interested to see how Mike Bobo, with a week of preparation to game plan this, comes out how he calls this game. Because if he calls this game the way that they called the Ole Miss game and just kind of let Gunnar Stockton go out there and do Gunnar Stockton things, Georgia's going to put up a lot of points. I genuinely don't think there's a defense that can stop that offense when they are running at full capacity. I mean, the wide receiver room is stacked with talent. Zach Branch, Dylan Bell, RIP Colby Young, but Nitro Tuggle. I mean, the wide receiver room is stacked. We've got 2 of the best tight ends in the nation. The offensive line's been banged up, but damn it, this makeshift offensive line has put it together. So I really think Georgia has a top 5 offense, which is wild to say. It's just going to come down to execution and play calling.
Fair. Yeah.
Defensively, I don't know what the hell. Defensively, I don't know what the hell we're doing.
I don't think it'll be. I think it's kind of what Elkin said. I think he hit it right on the spot there. Ole Miss versus South Carolina.
Ole Miss is going to put belt to ass.
I agree.
I did want to touch on one game, and it's at the same time of this Georgia-Florida game, and not to cut you off, Ole Miss is going to roll South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean,
we dug the grave for South Carolina this weekend. Alabama did. Ole Miss is going to put them to rest for the year, and it might be putting Shane Beamer's coaching tenure to rest at South Carolina.
well, I mean, we all played football. We know getting up for a game like that, coming so close to winning that game, the next
So
week,
hard.
it is so hard to get yourself back up, and especially, they're going to Ole Miss. They're going to Oxford, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially going to, now Oxford isn't this crazy place to play, but just getting on the road, having to go face a potent offense like this, because this is a very good Ole Miss offense. Trinidad Chambliss is a dog. I mean, straight up dog. And I don't see any world where USC keeps this anywhere close.
I wanted to hear y'all's opinion on this game, though, and I was just about to get into it. It kicks off the same time as this Georgia-Florida game. It's Maryland hosting Indiana, and I've given this Maryland squad a lot of love on this podcast this season. I wanted them as my good boy pick, but I'm just curious, where do you guys think they match up here?
They're one of those teams where it's the record does not show you what type of team they are. I think offensively they're very exciting. They're fun in terms of you don't know really what you're going to get week in and week out. And I think that's why you're probably looking at this and being like, well, okay, now this could be a spot where Maryland keeps it close or Maryland, leads the game. But I personally feel like this Maryland team, if they had won the Nebraska game, would have panned out a little differently this season. But I think that was it's kind of what Mal just said. But in terms of like over the course of a season, when you don't win the big one, it's hard to kind of put it in your head that you're going to go out there and be successful every week. Because once you let those big ones fall through your fingers, it's you're just kind of like, whatever. So I don't know. They're a frisky team, but that's my opinion on it.
I mean,
it's really the point spread that caught my attention. This is what you see out of a really good Kirby Smart football team, a really good Nick Saban football team. Dan Lanning has attracted some lines like this, and even Ryan Day. If you think the Big Ten's tough, then.
And I hear what you're saying, but when you look at what Indiana went and did to UCLA last week, and this is a UCLA team that came in with a lot of belief, like a lot of belief. Everything was going their way.
Beaten in conference play.
Yeah, I mean, everything was going this UCLA team's way. And Indiana went out there and said, I don't give a shit. They stomped on their face and just blood spewing everywhere. And then they just kept stomping. I mean, and I know that's graphic, but that's literally what this Indiana team just did to UCLA.
It's like that one Smiling Friends.
Yes.
I think it was literally the first episode. Yeah.
So it is impossible. I don't want to say impossible, but it is so hard for me to look at this game and think Maryland's going to cover a 20.5 point spread.
I mean, Indiana will win the game. So is there a football game in Knoxville this weekend?
There is, and it's quite a good one. Dark mode has officially been activated, which only means one thing. It's wraps for Oklahoma. It's wraps. See ya. Pack it up. If John Mateer plays like he's been playing these past few weeks, you can forget about it. You might as well keep the buses warm the entire game. You're not going to be able to keep up. He has been super inaccurate these past few weeks. Ever since he's got back from injury, he has not even came close to looking like himself. Yeah, this is going to be a really, really fun one. Obviously, last year we went to Oklahoma and beat them. Now it's our turn. They get to come to Neyland. Let me Luke Altmaier in our home. They have to come here. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. Another night kick. Neyland at night is unreal. unreal and unmatched. I'm super excited. I went to the last night mode or dark mode night game. It was against South Carolina in 2023 after we had lost to them the year prior. That knocked us out of the playoffs when Hendon Hooker got hurt. And Kamal Haddon had a pick six. And it's one of my all-time favorite Neyland clubs. Just a wave of sound after he picked. It's just unreal. Just chills talking about it. I'm super excited. Joey, back on track last week after a tough show. And the thing is, he didn't even play that bad at Alabama. He had one bad throw. But back on track last week. We had 3 100-yard receivers last week. Yeah, I'm super excited. Yep.
I've got two things to say about this, and neither one of them's about the actual game itself.
Okay.
First thing, Tennessee wins social media for the year. That was the coolest video I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Go to Tennessee's Twitter page, X, the Everything App page, or Instagram or whatever. Look at the dark mode activated video. Just, I don't like Tennessee as much as the next guy, but super sick video. Yeah. I mean, guy rolls up in a suit with the helmet and then the transformation. I mean,
Tron
just
inspired. It's pretty cool. Shout out Noah the Boa. That's his Instagram name. I don't actually know, but he's the head of the Tennessee video department there for.
I mean, athletics. Just sick video. And the second thing is this is a sneaky SEC rivalry game that dates back to when Oklahoma was in the Big Ten. A lot of people, and I know Dylan remembers when Baker Mayfield came into Neyland, and I know Dylan was there for a checkered. I think this was one of the early checkered days.
I think it was 2016.
Yeah,
checker. Yeah,
because this was one of the early days of the checker, and then they went in there in
2015.
It's a good pull.
I was 15 years old. Yeah.
But sneaky rivalry. I mean, Tennessee fans do not like Oklahoma after that,
bro. And that game had me so sick. Yeah. Number one, no one knew who Baker Mayfield was. Nobody. This was his coming out party because we played them relatively early on in the year. I think it was within our first 4 or 5 games. And dude, he was breaking every tackle in the backfield, making moves. I'm like, who is this guy, bro? And this always happens to me. It happened when Jalen Hurts, I think his freshman year. I was at that game too. And he just broke one down the sidelines. I'm like, who is this cat, dog? Yeah. But that was a brutal loss. We were up late in the fourth and just choked it away. I think we lost in overtime. I've seen way too many overtime losses in that stadium. It makes me sick thinking about it. But yeah, good pull, Matt.
Yeah. So sneaky SEC rivalry. Other than that, I don't really have much to say. I think Dylan kind of nailed it.
Yeah, that was a good pull there, Mal. Who else we got, or do we have our good boys?
I mean, there's really not much else this year.
Yeah.
This week.
There is one game, but if y'all don't cover it, well,
there's one game I'm going to talk about, and it is my good boy.
Okay, let's just get into good boys. All right. So let's get into a recap of what happened last week. Interesting last week in good boys. Elkins, you hit your 13.5 Michigan State versus Michigan bet. Backdoor covered. Final 2 seconds, I think. And they covered. They lost by 11. So they got you some bones. Syracuse got absolutely blown out by Georgia Tech. Did not cover the 17.5. And then I had App State plus 13.5. Put up a good fight at the end. Almost won it outright. Very exciting. So right now, current standings after week 9. Elkins has 54 bones. Mal still at 50.5 bones. And I have climbed my way up in third place back to 40.5 bones. Our good boys were 2-1 on Saturday, not straight up, but just 2-1. So yeah, Elkins, you are the leader of the clubhouse. Go ahead and lead us off.
Big props to you, Dylan, getting back in this contest, making it really fun for me now. I had Mal on my tail hot the past few weeks, but now I've got 2 of you really prominent. However, it's about to change. It's about to get less of a contest after this week when Mr. Satterfield, is that his name? He's about to take a really big coaching job after he wins this game in Utah this weekend. I love Brendan Sorsby. I think he should be getting talked about a little bit more. Granted, the Big 12 is not a challenging league like the SEC is. He's tossed for 20 touchdowns and 1 interception, and nobody's really talking about this guy as a Heisman. If he goes and gets this win on the road, you better start talking about him. And I love these 9.5 numbers. I stay glued to him. I've been on him all year. Cincinnati plus 9.5 is really good juice. And I think they could win this game.
I like it.
Cincinnati, 9.5.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, there we go, Mal. There we go. There we go. All right,
well,
Mal, let's hear it.
VV, I will be taking my pick to what I feel like is one of the best 1-7 football teams in the nation, while simultaneously being one of the worst 1-7 football teams in the nation. I will be taking Boston College plus 29.5 against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. VV. Okay, is that good enough? Can I get
keep
into
going.
my...
Keep going.
Okay, but I don't know how to explain it, but at the start
Who's
of the
Boston
year,
College's quarterback?
I was going to get there. You've interrupted me. If there's one thing we know about the French, it says we do not like to be... that kind of went German there for a second.
The Americans always interrupt the French.
Yeah, I mean, I
Sorry.
took a little bit of a German class over the summer, and, you know, I ended up getting a little German there. I'm not going to lie. Let's go.
He's my number one pick.
VV, Grayson James is the quarterback for Boston College. All right. That is, I was going to get there, but you couldn't force my hand. They started off the year with some hype behind them. They were favored in 3 of their first 4 games. And then they went and got blown out by Pitt, Clemson, and UConn. Last week on the back of Grayson James, they turned it around. He did have 2 interceptions. Not going to lie, not the greatest game. If he didn't have 2 interceptions, they probably win this game against Louisville. But Grayson James is going to roll into South Bend, Indiana. Or actually, never mind. The game is in Boston College. I'm getting all flustered right now. Somebody gets me a croissant.
Confusing. This is very confusing.
This is very confusing. V. But yeah, basically, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, you're good.
All
You're
right,
good.
basically, Boston College has had a very, very, very rocky year. Started off really, really good. They didn't start off good, but they started off with some hype behind them. Like I said, favored in 3 of the 4 first games. Past 4 weeks have been a little rough, but they kind of bounced back against the Louisville team, who I don't really know how. I didn't watch that game, so I'm not going to try to give a bunch of analysis on it. But from the final score, it was a close game. They covered the spread. 29.5 is a lot of points. This is a good Notre Dame football team. I'm not going to discredit Notre Dame like we have in the past. Don't kill me. We love our Catholics on this show.
Yes, we do.
We love our Catholics. Notre Dame just feels like kind of a weird spot to me. I mean, rolling into Boston College, 12 p.m. on the ACC network, 29.5 is a lot of points for a team that hasn't played terrible football this year. Like I said, I mean, they got blown out by UConn, Clemson, and Pitt, but those are 3 really good teams, minus UConn.
Not bad.
And then they kind of turned it around last week. So a little bit of momentum rolling into this game. Really, it's just going to matter if they can keep this somewhat close in the first half. I say if they can keep it 2 scores in the first half, they will cover the spread. They can have a little bit of hope. But if Notre Dame gets out early, it might be off to the races. They might win this game by 40, 50 points. So going to take a risk. It's a 29.5 point dog. If they cover, could be some good points for me.
Yeah. Interesting pick. I'm surprised I had 3 and none of them got taken. So I have a multitude. Elkins, I'm very surprised you didn't take this one. I think it might have been the number, but you have talked about this team and this quarterback specifically last week. The Sun Devils.
I looked at that.
Sun Devils are playing Iowa State this week, and they are 6.5 point dogs. This is so surprising to me. Iowa State has been inflated all year in terms of preseason rankings, and all the lines I've seen. It's been super inflated for them. I don't see it. I don't see it in terms of when I watch them, when I put on the TV and I watch them. Arizona State's going to win this game outright. And it might be by 7+, and I'm very serious. I am very serious. This is an inverse line to me. Arizona State's by far the better team. Iowa State's coming off a super tough loss against BYU, and I think things are just going to compound for them. So give me the Sun Devils +6.5 against Iowa State this weekend. Sam Levitt, have a day. Kenny Dillingham gets it done.
Well put. I like that.
Can I do an honorable mention this week?
Yeah.
I think there's a few honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mention for me is Kentucky 10.5 versus Auburn.
I like that. I don't
Something
hate it.
clicked. Something clicked. If you watched that Tennessee-Kentucky game last week, I know secondary is very bad, but something clicked for Cutter Boley and his wide receiver Alabama, Kinderclaw, in that game last week. Kinderclaw is going to be. They need to get the ball to him more. He's such a freak athlete. It's crazy. I like Kentucky 10.5 as well, but my pick is Arizona State +6.5 versus Iowa State.
And we've got another weird line for this Georgia Tech game. Georgia Tech is a 6.5. Was this what you were kind of wanting to allude to, Elkins?
Absolutely.
I mean, we've got a weird line. I mean, 6.5, it still feels like nobody is giving Georgia Tech credit. I'm staying off of this game because...
Want to see what the stadium capacity looks like 15 minutes before kickoff, before I am certain about this game. If it's a sold-out crowd, I think NC State's going to win. But if they're giving up and they're like, well, it's 6:30 and it's Saturday, it's going to be a packed stadium. It should have been somebody's good boy pick, but honorable mention.
It's so hard for me to pick an NC State team that just got absolutely demolished against Pitt. I mean, it's very hard.
That was another one on my card, was Stanford +15.5.
I was going to mention Stanford as well. I mean, there's a lot of really, really good games this week.
Games this weekend.
The Cornhuskers.
That was another one too. Yep.
But other than that, I mean, and this Nebraska USC line's interesting as well at 6.5 as well. So, games being played in Nebraska. I just don't think Nebraska's got it, honestly. I just don't think they have that factor.
That rolls heads in Happy Valley.
You don't believe in Patrick Mahomes?
Come on.
Now, here's a guy that can imitate Patrick Mahomes with the best of them.
See, that was good. Chris Collinsworth.
I can do a Chris.
You might do
a Chris Collinsworth.
Can you do a Chris Collinsworth French accent?
No, here's a guy. Here's a guy that can impersonate Chris Collinsworth talking about Patrick Mahomes. VV.
Thank you, Mal. You've been a good sport about that the whole episode.
You're welcome.
All right, let's wrap this episode up. We're going to get into our iconic blurby derby here, boys. Who won last week?
Me. Remember I talked about
Mal?
Big Chapstick.
You did, that's right.
Still, all my homies hate Big Chapstick.
That's right. Let me turn this music down. I hate this freaking crap. All right, let's look at these horses. I got some stars. A lot of pink going on mine. Or actually, Cole. I guess, Elkins, that was supposed to be you. I don't know why I wrote Cole. Whoops. Elkins, this is you. Dylan, this is me. Mal, this is you. Some checkerboard. I'm all over the place. Let's just go ahead and do it. What are we even doing? 3, 2, 1. They're off. Dead heat right now. Mal's lagging a little bit behind.
I'm
taking the lead a little bit.
Anybody's.
Mal's still in last. Elkins is falling to the back.
Anybody's
you got
race.
some spots to you too. That's a pretty horse you got right there.
That is a
nice
gorgeous horse.
8
thoroughbred
seconds,
racing
7
horse.
seconds, 6 seconds, 5
Elkins
seconds.
gonna make a push.
There
he comes.
There's
There
the
he
push
comes.
from the rear. There's
And
Elkins.
somebody
Cole.
give
Elkins. There you go. All right. Well, Elkins, what do you got for us?
Timer
Do
ready.
you have the timer?
I don't know if my camera flips or not, but I can do the timer. Here we go. In 5. Actually, we're going to do it like this.
I'm
5,
gonna go ahead and just start talking.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. I mentioned last week, you want to be happy about results, be happy about results. If you want to be happy about the process, there's not much to be happy about. However, the process is starting to show itself through this weekend for Alabama football. There is so much in store for this team, and the fact that they fought and got a dub on the backs of this defense was very impressive. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of people talking like, it's South Carolina. What are you doing? You shouldn't be playing around with them. This should have been an easy win for the Tide. You know what? I don't care. We won the game, and a win is a win in the SEC on the road, and it doesn't get much better than that. So I'm beyond happy for this team and these players. They get to rest, and it's a much-needed rest as they're going to be facing these Tigers who don't care about us or you or what you look like. So roll Tide. Keep being great. Love you, boys. Yeah.
Oh,
gosh,
man, why did
get
you
it
do
out.
that? That's terrible. That's the worst sound ever. I hate you for doing that. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the Pass Club. We appreciate it so much. While you're here, like and subscribe, and follow us on all socials at the Pass Club Pod. It helps us out tremendously. We have loved interacting with you guys. If you want to be a part of ball calls going forward, just individually message the Pass Club Pod account or either one of us directly, and we will get you to it. But thanks again. We appreciate it so much, and we will see you next week.
The Pass Club, the Pass Club, the Pass Club.